Hello, everybody. Again, we are here for the July energy update. I feel like I say this every week with another month passing. Anyway, happy almost July. So we're going to continue along the theme that has been presented to us throughout 2026 of an increasing momentum as a result of the alignments that we've had throughout 2026. They've really given me that as the foundation of this shift and change that we're going through. And rather than, again, repeat all of that from February on, we know that the solstice, as they brought through earlier, is an acceleration period for us. Now, I just got to say, since the solstice, it was kind of the weekend of, which was just last Sunday anyway, I have felt, I wonder if anybody else has felt this, and I have two other people I have seen in the last day or two, we are having the same symptoms. Feeling very dense. It's really hard to explain. So, physically, for example, two of us are tennis players, or one of my partners and myself are tennis players, and we're just feeling dense, feeling heavy, not tired, not just dense. Like we're in a heavier, almost like you're underwater feeling. I've had a number of people have this. I'm curious if anybody else is feeling this way. The solstice is really kind of doing a number on us energetically and with our bodies. So what they said about that, and by the way, I have a list of things that already came through. What they said about that and what the solstice has done, and they've shown this to me in cells vibrating in our body, like more so. Like this is an accumulation. They just said accumulation of progression too. Okay, accumulation and progression of these energies that have shifted to have us align with what is intended to be for each of our own goods, is what they're saying. And so what's happening now is it's a little bit, and this is interesting, it's a little bit like earthquakey like cells shaking and shaking out. And here's the thing, they always talk about as is above, so is below, and then we know the earth goes through the same things we are, and we just had that terrible earthquake in Venezuela. So, if anybody's listening from there, I just send my condolences. But the thing is, this is energetic, and we often see what is happening within the collective, within ourselves energetically, also impacting the earth as such. Because remember, it's energy, and so everything's being impacted. Anyway, the point in that is we physically as individuals are vibrating. Like we're shaking it out. I mean, it is like, they just said it's like a sieve. Okay, so shaking out. So many of us may be feeling something very different than before. Okay, my example is running around in a tennis court, typically with no problem. And now I just feel like I'm underwater. It's okay, that's a great one. It's like I'm running underwater. That's hard, right? But anyway, so I do want you to know that our cells are vibrating. And they did say this has to do with the acceleration period that we identified when I did the little video before the solstice. So what we're doing is we're moving into these 3 months, June, July, and August, which we're almost done with June, July and August, of like a lot of energy to be able to be used to create. And they ended the notes that they gave me with the word create at the bottom, okay? And this is all leading to keep creating your journey, keep creating your journey. But what they're really emphasizing right now is don't get lost in the flow of chaos. Don't get swept away. Now, we've talked about this before, obviously, but there's something going on now that's bigger, energetically speaking, because remember, they're trying to pull us back in. That lower frequency is trying to keep us, so they're throwing out all the stops, right? But what I got a visual of, and I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but I have, and this is what they give to me. They give to me what I understand so I can explain it then, right? So I saw not too long ago this dance. I think it's an ethnic dance where they were doing it for an audience. They don a long cloak all the way to the floor. You can't see their feet. And then they very methodically and very almost like they're hypnotized, but there's no expression because I think it's part of the dance. But anyway, and they take these little steps, and the dress, or the cloak I should say, covers the feet, so you can't see the feet move in these very little movements. and it literally looks like they're floating. They're floating. They're floating, but they're also dead center on just where they're going. So if you've seen them before, you know what I'm talking about, but I think you can imagine this. What they showed me was an individual like that going through the tunnel, and then they said tunnel vision, floating like that, straight ahead, looking straight ahead, not looking off to the sides, going straight ahead, moving, floating through. So having tunnel vision now as we're going through, they said parting the sea, okay? So parting the sea, and they said to blow right through. Blow right through. In other words, you're not stopping to look, you're not stopping to diddle around, you're not stopping to see if you want to buy that thing. And I'm talking metaphorically, right? So like being able to just keep doing you, keep doing your path, keep creating out of your own journey. Focus on you. Don't let yourself get distracted, because there's a good chance you're going to get yanked in, is what I'm hearing now, okay? In some way. Now we can all go down the rabbit hole a little bit, but most of us now, the minute we step in, we have to get out, right? So what they're really saying is tunnel vision, focus on you, create over these next months, whatever that is. We've talked about what that is. That's everything we do every single day. It's the choices we make every single day that build to the next thing, right? It's how you treat yourself. It's create you. And that's what they want us to do. Focus on tunnel vision, creating you, moving like the dancer, straight ahead, not looking side to side, not looking on the shoreline. You're on the flow. You're just going down the stream. You're the leaf on the stream, but you're not going to the shore, because that's where it's all going on. That's where they're having all the chaos going on. Okay? So don't get lost in the flow of chaos. Don't get swept away. Drive through, eyes straight. You're parting the sea. You're blowing right through. So this is big. And then there's the whole floating visual. Have tunnel vision. Okay, let's see what else they said. Oh, and then they said to me, you know, don't dawdle. And then they gave me the visual. And a lot of you aren't going to know this because you're younger. There was this Memorex ad, which is weird because it came into my realization the other day again. That was very popular. Where there's a TV and there's a guy sitting in a chair and he's just sitting like this and he's wind blown back. Okay, he's just wind blown back by what's coming out of the TV. And that was the Memorex ad. Anyway, what they said about that is you're in the headwind. There's a headwind. It's all that stuff that's, again, on the side, right? The tunnel. But you got a headwind, and it's this. It's what wants to basically get us distracted. But we have so much vibration and momentum going because of the energetics behind this, that because we have lifted ourselves up through this awakening journey, and we ride the wave, right? And we're doing the thing, and we start really understanding the journey. They're like the headwind. No, you're in a headwind. So they showed that ad, like blowback, right? But you're going to tunnel right through. You're going to tunnel right through. It's almost as though nothing else is happening around you. The visual they gave me. I have never felt so focused, like the visual of being focused, but not with hardened energy, just almost like you're in a coma like state and you're just doing your thing. You're like, no, nothing else, just me. We're doing me. And doing me isn't selfish or self-centered. Doing me means creating whatever you're creating each day, which of course impacts others, right? So this is a very interesting time. They also said the word, talking about the cells vibrating that you've dropped in, they talked about a rumble. There's a rumble in us, okay? So that rumble is shaking out, allowing the new light to come in from the solstice time, okay, well, from all of this, and then the acceleration, allowing that to come in. And it's also so earth-oriented, too. It is so earth-oriented, too. She's realigning as well. I don't know. I just feel like we're going to have a lot more earthquakes because the collective, I don't keep track of the news. The things you're supposed to know, which this is it. But, her alignment is our alignment. Our alignment is her alignment. The universe's alignment is her alignment, our alignment. It just all goes hand in hand. And we all experience it in a way that obviously can impact others. So when we go through our shaking and awakening, we can affect others. And with Earth, when this is happening to her, we get affected. And so, gosh, it's just, they're really showing it part and parcel of this whole journey forward. So also what's really important here is there is no, I think this is so interesting, no need to figure the story out of what is happening. We all want to know, we all want to understand, we all want to know the future, we all want to kind of get a glimpse of, well, and there's so much, right? We want to put the storyline together, and then, and you know why, I'm going to tell you this, no need to figure out the story of what is happening, because then you start to create the potential of another belief system. You don't need one. I mean, that sounds so totally counter to us going through this awakening journey and the understanding of why this is, when this is, all this. But it just is. It just is. So this is really important because it aligns with the other things I said, straight ahead, all this. No need to figure out the story of what is happening, because it also wraps us up into angst energy, worry energy, or can. Angst energy, worry energy, trying to figure it out, like, nose to the grindstone, anxiety, being angry, being upset. But we don't have to figure out what has been or what will be. We just need to be. We just need to be. And for our human minds, even saying that makes, I don't want to say no sense, but like, we've never been taught how to just be, most of us. What does that even mean? How do I just be? I'm supposed to always be a doer and make things and do things and serve others and always doing, never taking time for myself, right? But it's really, really important because this all goes hand in hand, not needing to figure out the story of what is happening. And then they said, don't get wrapped up in the story. Don't get wrapped up in the story. You can get puzzle pieces for your journey. You can get, it's not saying don't go get information. It's about don't live in that, all right? If it resonates and it's meant to help you understand your journey, it's going to resonate. It's going to feel totally natural to you. So it's you're putting the puzzle, it's going to sound counter, but you're putting the puzzle together with the puzzle pieces that you're receiving. But it's not like you're hunting down the puzzles or the puzzle pieces. You're not hunting them down. They're there and they're going to land where they're meant to. But you also will start to recognize them. So this is all very much about setting yourself up energetically, spiritually, focus, whatever your focus is day to day, on being able to utilize what is being offered to us energetically to create your way forward, which ultimately rolls up into creating the collective's way forward. All right, so that is the main message for July. I'm just going to see if they have anything else that they want for us to consider. So we're going to take a minute here. Okay, so I know sometimes I'll give you what I think is like future for the collective. Lots of times it's metaphors or analogies. I am getting a little bit of something like July's on fire. Now, that could be literal. I don't know. A lot of forest fires, maybe Canada again. Hopefully not. I don't know. But they're showing on fire. This is different than what we saw in May with the big light on fire. Let's just see if we can get anything else along those lines. On fire. What does that mean? Because, they always do this riddly kind of communicating with me. All right. And I don't know if I told you this, but they do that. They said to keep me interested. They don't want me to get bored. And I have a tendency to get bored pretty easily, but not with this. Not with any of this. Okay. So let's just see. Okay. On fire, both collectively and individually. Okay. So that really does align. Oh, you know what they just said? Now this is making more sense, especially with what they just said. You're walking the coals. Remember how they said you're going fast to go through? Think of walking on coals. That's what we're doing. Now this makes all the sense in the world. This is what they do. They'll give me pieces of things and then they will wrap it up and tell the story in the end. So this whole little floating through thing, and remember I said little fast steps? Yeah, but you have tunnel vision, You're in your own space. Well, and the other thing with, and I've never done this, but walking on coals, apparently the whole trick of it is you have to be in a proper mind space. Okay? Walking coals. You're walking coals. I'm going to write that down because I'm probably going to use it in the part of the video where I need to identify the title and all that good stuff. Walking on coals. But it's not like what you think. Walking on coals. No. And when you're walking on coals, you're oblivious to the outside world, to what's going on. You better be focused. You better be focused, or you're going to feel the coals. Oh gosh, this is so the story of this month. Okay, so let's just keep going. Fire. All right. If it couldn't get sillier and more, what we say, human concerning out there, it does feel like there's that, the acceleration in general, as we know, when we talk about acceleration, I'm talking to our journey, right, of awakened, enlightened, journeyed people, right? Coming from the love space in their heart and learning to heal themselves and grow and care for others in the way we're meant to. But acceleration doesn't just affect us. It affects the lower frequencies too, or those living in the lower frequencies, because as we know, that is happening. And so there's an acceleration that feels like July. It feels like firestorm. Acceleration of that. I don't know what that's going to look like. You do remember, this has come back to me now, a couple of years ago, when we knew we were coming into 25. I just quit talking about earth events because I said it's just going to keep happening, especially the earthquakes is what I kept seeing. She's realigning her energetic lines is what I'm getting. And she's releasing too. Think about when we release. When we release, we go through a time of activation or time of healing things that we've dealt with in our lives or even past lives. All that can come up. And it's energy. It comes up in us crying. It comes up in us, getting angry, hopefully in a constructive way. But it comes up in us shutting down. We know that this is this journey, right? But that's what's happening to her too. There are people working the lines, is what I'm getting, and transmuting a lot of that energy. Okay, so this is interesting. Oh, land clearers. Okay, this is bringing out something new for me. I am a land clearer. I don't know if I've told you this before. By the way, we all have, I know this is going to sound weird if I haven't talked about this before, but we all have more like energetic or astral kind of work we do that is much more impactful and powerful than what we're doing in our human form. That's why a lot of people are like, what am I supposed to be doing for my purpose? Oh, you have no idea what you're doing in your energetic state, day to day. Anyway, as I was saying, in my situation, I clear for the land as one of my extra things I do. Actually, it's the big thing I do. And I have learned enough with patterns over the time that I clear for very difficult things that have happened on Earth. And also anything to do with war. Okay, so given that, they're just alluding to the fact that there are a lot of people out there, and this isn't me, but I think this is part of it. There are a lot of people out there working the land right now, working to tone down what could be more catastrophic than what we're seeing now. Okay? They're working the lines is what I'm hearing, like ley lines. So this is like literally somebody sitting in their house, they know they work the land and they do a meditation regular, whatever it is. Or they go out on the land. I know somebody who travels literally to do this stuff that clears the land. I mean, that's their gig, is they clear the land. And so what I'm getting here is this summer is a big summer, northern hemisphere, winter, southern. I always want to identify that. But July is this time where this is this tamping down this. I wonder if those who are doing this earth work are noticing a ramp up for themselves. I don't know. But what's happening is transmuting that energy from the earth and working hand in hand. Because when we become aware and when we become awake and we travel this journey long enough, we can be given signs and messages as to what we do, and we know we're clearing. Okay, not everybody does that, right? But definitely working in tandem with Earth, and what I'm getting is tamping down, they just said, and clearing out. So there's a lot of that going on. And they're also talking about opening up the flow of this big Earth conversation. Because I said I wasn't going to talk about this much anymore because it's just all going to happen. But I want you to understand what I'm getting. And again, take what resonates, toss the rest aside. But always stay open in that the human collective, those doing earth work, they're really working it right now. They're really working it. That makes sense. And so what she's doing is she's recreating energetic pathways is what I'm getting. This has to realign. That's why we're doing this. I have a feeling it's going, well, earthquakes do this. There's this whole notion of Atlantis appearing again, but I am getting shifting and changing of plates. It'll be interesting to see what comes up. And I don't mean necessarily in July. This is an ongoing thing, but we might see an uptick in July. I don't know. But there feels to be like a lot of land energy. I have a feeling, and I haven't looked at this yet, this is the 25th of June. And it feels to me like there was some kind of solar event yesterday. I don't know. I don't keep track of this, but there's a lot more coming in one way or another. And the solstice really accelerated this. It really accelerated it. Okay. I think that's it. They talked a lot about Earth. Really interesting. So just know, just know, and you don't have to know what it is because your soul's doing it anyway. But you can usually tell by patterns. You can usually tell by things happening in your life. You can usually tell by how the energy is moving through. Particularly if you're kind of really living in this new self you're creating. The not just doing spiritual awakening for an hour a week, if that makes sense. If you can even do that, right? If you're really you're going to start to get a sense of what you do on the side. But the on the side is the most powerful thing we do. Most powerful thing we do. And it all connects. It all connects. So all the land clearers out there, they're all connected in some way. It has to be cleared and transmuted first before those who are doing the work to shift and change the energies of Earth can do that. And so it's happening in different points across the world. It's localized. God, this is what they're talking about. This is how they're containing Earth's energy, is what I'm just now getting. Do you remember how I have said previously? It's not one big Earth is going to blow up and we're done. Not a big apocalypse for everybody. That it's localized. I still get that. And so it's because there are pockets that it's almost like bubbling up here, like a whack-a-mole, right? And those workers, those energy workers, go to the place they're meant to go. Now, we don't know that. There's no, Zoom we do to talk about, hey, you're there and I'm there and this is our network. It just is. And we don't need to know that. We do our work, right? We're part of that helping grid as such. And I'm talking to everybody who has anything like that. And we all have something. But in being able to identify that, my point in this is, I'm bringing this up because of the Earth information coming in for July, is there is they're doing the rewiring. And the Earth needs help so that it's not a full-on blowout. It's a localized situation, but it's also eventually going to shift and change the way we see things. But I don't think it's all going to be an overnight kind of thing. I've always said that. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Kind of went in a different direction, but anyway, it was information they wanted you to know for this coming month and obviously for the future as well. So if you're looking for some assistance in your awakening journey or just your life journey in general, check purplerainhealing.com. If you're interested, reach out to me. And I thank you so much. Happy July, and I'll see you in the next video.